I was born in a humble village under the vast South African sky, where the seeds of my life's purpose were sown. They called me a troublemaker, and perhaps they were right, for I was destined to stir the waters of injustice. My early years and education shaped me into a man who would fight for freedom, not with fists alone, but with a heart full of resolve and a mind sharpened by learning. Let me take you back to those days, to the roots of my courage, so you might see how a boy from Mvezo became a beacon for millions. I came into this world on July 18, 1918, in the quiet village of Mvezo, nestled along the Mbash River. My name, Rolihlahla, means pulling the branch of a tree, in Xhosa, or as some say, troublemaker. It was a fitting name, for my life would indeed shake the branches of oppression. My father, Gadla Henry Mfakaniswa, was a chief and counselor to the Limbu royal house, a man of dignity who taught me to carry myself with pride in our traditions. I remember sitting at his side, listening to stories of our people's strength, their wars, and their unity. Those tales planted in me a love for my heritage, a sense that I belonged to something greater than myself. When I was 9, my father passed, and my world shifted. I was sent to live with Chief Jongantaba Delindibo, regent of the Limbu people, in the great place at sJourney. He raised me as his own, and I was no longer just a boy, but a son of the royal court. In sJourney, I learned leadership not through commands, but through observation. At tribal meetings, I watched as every man, from the humblest farmer to the wisest elder, was given a voice. The chief listened, weighed their words, and only then spoke. This taught me that true leadership is rooted in patience and respect lesson that would guide me through the storms to come. At school, a missionary teacher gave me the name Nelson, a custom that stripped away part of our identity but opened doors to a new world. I was eager to learn, devouring books and ideas at Clarkberry and Heeltown, mission schools that offered rare opportunities for a black boy like me. My hunger for knowledge led me to the University of Fort Hare, a place where black minds were nurtured, though still under the shadow of colonial rule. There I studied English, anthropology, politics, and law, but more than that, I found my voice. When I joined a protest against the poor conditions at Fort Hare, meager food, strict rules, and little respect for us as students. That moment was a fire in my soul. I saw that standing for justice often meant sacrifice, but I felt alive in that choice, knowing it was right. Fleeing an arranged marriage arranged by Chief Jongantaba, I ran to Johannesburg, a city pulsing with life and pain. There I saw apartheid's cruelty up close, black families pushed to the edges, denied dignity, treated as less than human. I worked as a law clerk and studied law at night, my eyes opening wider to the system that bound my people. Each injustice I witnessed was like a stone sharpening my resolve. I began to dream not just of my own freedom, but of a nation where all could stand tall. Those early years were not without fear or doubt. I was young, sometimes reckless, often unsure of the path ahead. But every step listening to elders, questioning unfair rules, seeking knowledge built in me a courage that grew stronger with each challenge. I learned that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it, to hold fast to what is just, even when the cost is high. My early life was not a grand tale of heroism, but a series of small choices that shaped me. From the hills of Mvezo to the lecture halls of Fort Hare, I learned that courage begins with honoring your roots, seeking knowledge, and daring to question what is wrong. I stood up even when it meant standing alone, because I believed that one voice could spark change. You too can find that spark within you. No matter where you come from, your small acts of courage, speaking out, learning, and persisting, can plant the seeds for a better world. Let my story remind you, the journey to justice begins with a single step, taken with a heart full of hope.